and welcome to Tribe Chats. My name is Amber Okolo Ebube. I am the owner, the operator, the everything to Leading Little Arrows Homeschool Academy. And I'm here to talk to you guys about homeschooling, obviously, but specifically if you are a mom or a dad who's like, what the heck did I get myself into? I know I want to homeschool. I've pulled my kid out, or I'm thinking about pulling my kid out, but I don't know what to do after that, right? It can get a little crazy. And I just want to help you guys out. I'm seeing a lot on Facebook groups and in my own friend group. People are just like, what the heck do I do? So I want this series to just be a quick little appetizer, just a little small bite to get you started, to get you, what search terms you use to go down the Google rabbit hole. That's what this video is about. Now, if you want something a little bit more technical, a little bit more in-depth, that's what our website's for. That's what our Facebook group is for. But for this, we just want to do a little small thing. So I have my notes right here. It is not cooperating with me, so I'm just going to unlock it. There we go. All right, so this week I want to talk about building a firm foundation. What do you do when you decide to homeschool? The knee-jerk reaction is to go buy a whole bunch of curriculum and just get started, or buy a whole bunch of workbooks, or go ask your friends, hey, what's the best curriculum? And that probably makes sense in the marketplace. It probably makes sense in the other worlds, but not in homeschooling. Why? Well, because you're a different person and your family dynamic is a little different. So let's start off with something very basic, very easy. No matter what your homeschool is going to look like, you need to do this. And that is deschooling and building a routine. Okay? Deschooling, building a routine. Take notes if you must, but just keep it in your little ticker. All right. So before we do that, before we talk about deschooling, because you're probably like, what the heck is that? I thought I wanted to homeschool, not deschool. I want to talk about just building your school in a way that's going to be authentic to you. And that's not going to come from writing down academic goals. You're going to have to write down your non-academic goals and your mission statement for your homeschool. So what I mean by that is on the days when it gets rough, you're going to want to remember why you're doing this. And on the days when you're killing it, you're going to want to remember why you're doing this. You want to give yourself a pat on the back. So what I would suggest you do, get a piece of paper, get a poster board, whatever it is, however you create, and think about, let's say, 3 to 5 non-academic goals. So I'll tell you one of mine. Mine is that I have my children come to me and just tell me little bits about their day or a little bit of stories about their day. That means that I am an emotionally safe place for my kids to share. That's really important to me. And my mission statement for my homeschool is that my kids, when they're adults, that they will be well-rounded, emotionally mature adults. So everything that I do is centered around the heart of that. So once you've written that down, I suggest you post it somewhere where you're going to see it. It's your mirror, the fridge, anywhere, so that you can constantly be reminded why the heck you're doing this. And here's a little pro tip. Don't write what you don't want. So it's like, oh, I'm pulling my kids because of school shootings, or I'm pulling my kids because of bullying. That may be true, but I'm telling you, when it gets grimy, you're not going to care about that. It's not going to work. It has to be something that's positive that you can look into the future for. And as your kids get older, that may change, but you need to make sure you're keeping your eye on the prize. So now let me just step off of my soapbox real quick and let's go into deschooling. So what is it? Deschooling is basically just taking a little bit of time to decompress from education as the norm. So if you are a parent who's had your child in the traditional setting, whether that be a public school setting, a private school, charter school, you're going to want to do this. I would recommend 6 weeks, but at least 4 weeks. And what you're going to do is just chill. Get to know each other in the sacred space. Get to know how your child is bent. hey, you know what? They're kind of cranky in the morning. Or, they have a whole lot of energy in the morning. Just get to know each other. And also during that deschooling time, you're going to just build a routine. So let's say in the mornings you wake up, you maybe have decided waking up at 7 a.m. is no longer it for you. That's for the birds. Your family likes to wake up at 9. And after you wake up, let's eat breakfast. Or everyone makes their own breakfast. Get into that routine. Just a regular life routine. Chores, wake up, wash your clothes, all of that. Once you've established that, start creating blocks of time. Look at your day. Look at the lulls in your day and start creating blocks of time. I would say 45 minutes to an hour of doing one specific task, whether that's reading, drawing, Legos, cooking, making lunches, anything, as long as it's in that time. So once you've built that routine, then you can start thinking about, I've realized that my kids get busy at about 12 o'clock. I need to start sending them outside. And then it also helps, deschooling and building a routine also helps with that back to school, I call it the back to school attitude, where your kid's like, oh my gosh, you don't know what you're talking about. I know this, Mom. I don't need your help. I can do this. I can do that. And I want to touch bases on this because I've seen this question a lot. How do I deal with my kid not wanting to do school? Let me remind you that your child, while they're cute and lovable, they're also a little bit of human with really, really big feelings. And just like you have apprehensions on homeschooling and what it's going to look like, your child has apprehensions. Just like you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do it like the teacher does it. Your child is looking at you like, she's not doing it like Miss Smith did. The only difference between you and your child is that they do not have the emotional maturity to articulate that they're nervous, that they're scared. This is a huge life shift for them. So I'm going to ask you as a parent to give them a little bit of grace and not to take it personal and do your own work and your own emotional, dissection later on, and just realize the child is not intentionally trying to be disrespectful. They're probably scared and apprehensive and just not understanding what's going on. So be prepared for them be prepared for them to take some, test a little bit of the boundaries. And I would suggest some tips to actually make that a little bit easier would be to include them in on the homeschool. Give them their own independent work time and then allow them to grade their own papers and make corrections as needed. Those kind of things lets them feel like, hey, I'm a part of this and it's not just something that's happening to me, even though, I'm the kid, I just do what my parent says. We don't want that kind of relationship. So that is my suggestion for that. So once you've deschooled for 4 to 6 weeks, you've built your routine. Now you can start slowly adding in the curriculum that you've bought. And we'll talk about buying curriculum and lesson planning a little bit later, not on this video, but start adding in one subject at a time. And so you'll take away, let's say for an hour, you do reading. Take away that hour of reading and then add in language arts. And then see how that goes. Test it out at a couple of different times. Once you've done that and you're kind of confident with that, add in the next subject, take away something from the routine and add in the next subject. So this whole process should take between 8 to 12 weeks. So once you've done all of that, you have really built a really good foundation for your homeschool, but you've also built a really firm foundation for that trust level with you and your child or your children. Well, I told you I wanted to make this short and sweet and easy to be digested. So that is all I have for you today. And I hope that you tune in next time. If you have any specific questions, you can email me at amber@leadinglittlearrows.com. You can pop over to our Facebook group, or if there's an ability, you can comment down below and any of our team members will be able to answer you. So have a good day and happy homeschooling. Bye-bye.